and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's my workout for today. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Caliber Corner. It is episode number 208, season 4, and today we are talking about straight-walled rifle cartridges. For those of you living in states where you can't shoot bottleneck centerfire cartridges for hunting, we have not forgotten about you. If you are one of those hunters that does shoot center-fired bottleneck cartridges, make sure you check out last week's episode. We had a really good discussion and checked out a ton of different firearms in various calibers. And so today we'll talk about the practicality and the use of the straight-walled cartridge. What is a straight-walled cartridge? What are some of your options? I'm sure I'm going to miss a few of them. We've got a little survey that we posted. I'll get back on the YouTube side here eventually and let a few more people go ahead and post on that. And we'll come back and check out the results and see what everybody has to say. So before we get started, we got an awesome panel joining us, some very dedicated people that are with us on the panel today. Some of them are joining us, and it's a couple hours early, a couple hours late, but they are here, which is good. So let's go ahead and get started letting the panel introduce themselves. Nice Strike, what's going on? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, but I just have an announcement to say.
What's your announcement?
I don't have a leg in this chat. I really don't. I'm just here for, the coffee and the donuts.
Dude, that's it, man. That's it. And you're all out of donuts, right?
Yeah, I'm all out of. No, I still got some donuts left. I probably should get some more, but no, I don't have a rifle or a handgun in any of these cartridges. So,
well, and it doesn't matter because we're going to talk about the performance of these cartridges. Maybe something to consider. There's a lot of platforms now that you can get.
Before anyone says anything, yes, there are straight wall handgun cartridges because we were talking about one earlier.
Well, a lot of these have the potential to be shot through revolvers or are available in a revolver form, or most of these have been adapted to the AR platform, believe it or not, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And so we'll talk about things like, 350 Legend. What is it? It's only been out for less than 2 years now. It's kind of one of those newer cartridges.
Travis, you're looking at me funny, but I want an AR and 30 carbine.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, you can pretty much get an AR just about anything anymore. I don't know if anybody ever did one in 30-30, which is not straight wall, if I'm not mistaken.
No. I want one in 30 carbine, which is.
But weird. You got the 450 Bushmaster, 350 Legend. There's a lot of options. If you don't mind spending some money, you can usually get these in just about any platform. And we'll talk more cartridges and a little bit less about the firearms themselves today because there's a lot. It's more of a limited offering for some of these calibers we're going to talk about in terms of different types of platforms that are out there. I mean, some of these you can't get in a bolt action yet, but there's companies working on it and so on. So Nice Strike, you got a show that you do. What's it called and when is it and where can we catch you? You got multiple programs that you do.
I've got multiple programs and I might be starting another one just because people have asked. But yes. I do hit or miss every Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, and Pickle can translate for Pacific because I'm not a Pacific guy anymore.
Okay.
But
are you going to do a Saturday morning strike or a Sunday morning strike?
Not morning. Maybe
strike before you go to church and then go confess. Maybe. Is it?
No, maybe after I confess.
So post mass strike. That sounds bad.
Post mass strike. No. It's probably the sudden strike.
All right, so guys, check out Nice Strike's channel. He's got a lot of cool content, a lot of great videos, and Tuesday nights Hit or Miss is a great show. Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern time, 8 o'clock Central time. Check out the program. It's a good one. I missed it last week because I slept through it, unfortunately. I don't know how, but I laid down and took a nap and didn't wake up till the next morning.
You have that nice easy chair. I don't blame
you. No, it wasn't the chair, man. I was just tired. I was straight up tired. So, all right, good. Well, I'm glad you're here. You were the first one in, so obviously you're the first one to let you introduce yourself. And
first strike.
The first strike. All right, now we'll move on to our second strike. Caliber 32 Special. What's going on, man? How you doing today?
Doing all right for a Saturday morning.
That's right.
6 a.m. I think we really need to figure out how to move this, chat to a more godly time. But
it's hard to because I want to start my Saturday and get my day on, and if I go later on, I start to run into other shows, so it's kind of hard to pick a time that's going to work. But we tried the Monday night thing, and I hear you. It's early for everyone, man. I mean, I get up at 5:15, 5:30 every Saturday morning to do the show. So. But you're joining us from sunny Burbank, California. Is that right? Where it's nice and green and
hell no.
The women are beautiful. What?
The only beautiful woman I need to worry about is my wife. I'm actually up here in Northern California.
Oh, yeah.
And it's probably going to be, I don't know if it's going to rain today, but I think they're expecting, about 2 inches of rain within about a, 24-hour period tomorrow. So that should be fun.
Mudslides?
Well, maybe in the mountains there will be. That's especially in some of the big ass burn scars.
Yeah.
Caliber, it could be worse. You could be out in Thousand Oaks.
Well, he could be in San
Not
Francisco.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's a city which is not named in my home. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's its own island, right? Yeah. All right, man. Cal Pierce has got another great channel, so make sure you check out his content. Also, a lot of cool reviews that are on there, a lot of neat different items that you show off, and it's a good channel. So do check it out and get over there and subscribe. So I appreciate having you here this morning and getting up uber early to be with us. It's awesome to have you here. And again, if you have any experience with these cartridges, feel free to chime in. And if not, we're just going to look at them and see what the advantages are, or disadvantages, and kind of go from there. So. All right. Now joining us a little bit east of where I'm at, we've got Tony with us this morning. Tony, how's it going? How you doing, man?
It's going. I mean, I ain't dead yet, so.
No, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So Tony, you're a co-host of this fantastic morning news program called The Early Watch, and I highly suggest everybody check it out. Like, that's over the age of 18. And so Tony, when do you guys do your show? When do you guys have Early Watch? When is that? It's a fantastic program.
It's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Starts at 9 p.m. Central, which is the only time zone that matters.
9 o'clock a.m., right?
Yes.
Okay, 9 o'clock a.m. All right. Yep.
Usually runs hour and a half or 2 hours. Depends on how gabby we feel.
Yeah.
It is not for children or
the workplace,
easily
unless your
offended.
workplace fosters that kind of language in the environment.
Easily offended adults probably should avoid it.
It blows my mind, the topics. I swear you guys have got like a wall of topics and you just throw darts at it and you just come up with these crazy combinations of stuff to talk about. So I love it though. I love it because you guys will just start going off on something and it's and then you bring it back to something else, and I don't know, it's always fun to listen to. You never know what to expect. So.
I don't know. I think it's pretty much Tony throws Jimmy in front of a dartboard and throws darts.
Jimmy starts
whichever one hits Jimmy, then there's the top.
Yeah, it's fun to listen to. And again, I blame you guys because you guys and G-Webs with the Daily Gun Show are the reasons why I do this here now with you. So you guys were the culprits in this one. Yeah, I blame you guys whenever something doesn't go right. So.
Well, the topic thing is just due to the fact that we don't do any damn planning for the show. We talk 5 minutes before it starts and let her go.
Yep. There you go. There's some good ones on there. So
yeah, Mike.
What's that?
Ozzy Osbourne said early watch is not recommended for snow plagues.
It might convert you, make you realize just how awesome of a life you're actually missing out on by not listening. So the Church of the Early Watch, you guys can do baptismal conversions and stuff.
My mantra is if I haven't offended you and I don't give a shit who you are, I have messed up.
You have not done your job, Tony. You have let us
right.
down. That's 2 stars out of 5 for you. So
you're gonna have to work a little harder for me then. That's true. Everything I've ever heard you say just makes me laugh. Nothing's ever actually.
Oh, I know. I want to say it's not that it's ever offended me. It's just it's made me think. It's like, man, they're right. There's, geez, I'll tell you what.
You should hear the conversations Tony and I have had. Yeah, laugh, maybe like, grip your head and like, really. That really happened? Crazy things, man. Crazy things.
Definitely. All right, man. Okay, so let's continue here. And another fellow Nebraskan out there. We've got Defense Dad. Defense Dad, what's going on? How you doing this morning?
I'm awake-ish.
You're awake-ish?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, Defense, are you excited about today's topic? Are we going to go buy some straight-walled firearms today after the podcast? Is that the plan or what?
Oh, hell, anything's possible. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, this sounds like a good idea. Do you have any straight-walled cartridge rifles at this point or firearms?
Revolver, yes. Rifle, no.
Yeah. I know. I think we're definitely overdue for something. That 357 mag lever gun just sounds so sweet. Although the ammo's been scarce and expensive when we've been able to find it, but it's slowly coming back now. So.
Yep.
And like, just for the record, people complain about not being able to find ammo. Shields in Lincoln, Nebraska basically has everything for ammo. I mean, you don't mind paying more, not the ridiculous prices you see online, but paying about double what you were paying before for some calibers. They've got it. I mean, a lot of the hunting calibers are finally back in stock. Not so much 30-30 or 44 mag, but I've seen just about everything else at this point. So
yeah, I've been looking for some 30-30.
That's weird on that. It's like we saw a bunch of it come back and then we bought it all. And
I was going to say, you and I bought it all.
Bought it all. And then it just kind of disappeared. So I'm like, hey, if I got a lever gun, then I need it. I got to stock up on it. So, And it was the problem with the 3030 is that it was so expensive online. It was ridiculous. They're going like $40 for a box of Remington core lock. That would be what, $15.50 at Walmart if you buy it there. And yes, our Walmarts in Nebraska do sell mostly guns and ammo. I mean, most of them have ammo and or firearms. So a lot of people say Walmarts don't carry guns. No, they do. And I try not to support them too much. I try to shop locally and shop around, but sometimes they'll have something in stock and it's a good price. So I'll buy because I can't get it anywhere else. So yeah, looks like they want us to get another poll going here. So we'll get that going here in just a minute. So, all right, Defense Dad, make sure you guys check out his channel. What do you got coming up, Defense Dad? You got anything cool? Any new reviews you can kind of give us a little tease on, or any kind of bag reviews coming up or anything like that?
Well, what do you want? You want something cool? That's not my channel, but yeah, I got some stuff coming up.
There you go.
I got some gear. I got some guns. I got stuff.
Awesome. Absolutely.
Got to go finish zeroing in a optic this morning so I can do a video on that.
Okay. All right. And last but certainly not least, joining us, we've got Single Shot. Single Shot, how's it going today, man? You doing good?
I'm doing all right, but I've got this to say, folks.
What's that?
We've got a rough ride ahead of us. Yesterday, when I fueled this truck, I put in 219 gallons of fuel, and it run $481 for that fuel.
It's $2.50 a gallon for a gallon of diesel, or what? $2.25?
Yeah.
That's not that bad. I think we're almost $6 a gallon for diesel out here. Yeah.
I'm looking at $3.58 a gallon right here in South Carolina, and this is generally the cheapest state for me to buy fuel. So,
what part of South Carolina?
I'm in Duncan.
Oh, you're in Duncan. You're all the way up there.
Huh?
Yeah, you're all the way up there.
Yeah, I'm up here, bub. I wish I was down in your area, swinging by and meet you.
Yeah.
One of these days.
We could use the back range too.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
with that in mind, like they say, get in, sit down, strap in, and hang on. It's going to be one SOB of a ride.
Well, well, as soon as gas prices went up when the pipeline was canceled and a million jobs were lost. Yeah, that's pretty much when it started to go downhill.
Okay, you were complaining about what? $2.50 a gallon for diesel.
I wanted to ask Calaveras because California is always
it's like
the worst
$4 or $5
case.
over Calaveras.
California.
How much? What's the worst in California?
Well, that's right. I'm just looking locally within a couple miles of the house.
And I'm not talking about that one last stop before you go to Vegas. You always hear about that one last gas station where it's like $20 a gallon. Yeah.
$4.73 a gallon at the local station for diesel right now.
Regular gas? How much for regular gas? Is it cheaper or more? Because out here, diesel
$4.39 for regular.
Whew, damn! I think we're $2.93 right now, maybe $3, $2.95 at Costco. So, man.
Yep.
Maybe it's a good thing I didn't buy a pickup truck. My last vehicle. Of course, I only got like a mile and a half drive to go to work, so I could drive anything I wanted to, really. But golf cart,
Shoot, you could ride a bicycle for that.
I do, and the sad part is I don't ride it because I don't want to get my dress clothes dirty. But anyway,
right.
No, or it's raining when I
But anyway,
yes.
When I get back home, I'm gonna try to get some videos out. I had my tablet crash totally when I was home the last time. I was trying to do videos and something went screwy in that thing, and I lost everything. So I had to reprogram the whole blasted thing. And I do have some videos on there. They're under private. And I'm trying to figure out how to put a bunch of people, including you guys, on that list so that you guys can watch them. I think
if you just share the link, through email, we can click on the link and it'll let us watch the video.
It would be easier. It would be easier if you just set them unlisted and just hand the link out to people you want to see it instead of doing private, because private is a pain in the ass to try and figure out.
All right, now how do I set that on unlisted?
It's under the studio. You just
go on your YouTube studio and then click on edit the video, and it'll say there'll be a drop down box where it says private, and then you can select unlisted instead of private, and that way anybody who has the link can watch the video. trying to set it up.
Okay.
Trying to set up the private list so people can watch it is a monumental pain in the rear. So,
yeah,
you know,
man,
if you just want certain people to see it, just do unlisted.
Okay, I'll do that then. I'll do that. I want to say hi to Calaveras. I haven't spoke with you for quite a while, and Tony. Hope everybody's doing well.
Howdy.
Good deal. Hey, let's give a little shout out to the YouTube side to see who's joining us. It says we got 31 people watching right now, which is absolutely awesome. And we'll get into the topic of, the straight wall cartridge, kind of share experiences with it first. Then we'll kind of define what is a straight wall cartridge and look at some of the possible chamberings that are out there. And then I've got 4 in particular I want to focus on that are coming from an article that I found online that offers some really good information. And it really shows you the contrast and the performance with a few different calibers of and straight walled chamberings. So we've got Fluffy 10 millimeter Jeep guy out there, Mike 2 Live Moo, Kevin June G23, M Gabriel is out there also today. Ozzy Orsborn is with us. AWAG 1000 always in the house. Let's see, I'm out there and over here. Calaveras is out there and over here. Mike is out there too. Watt 75 is joining us. Guns and Barbecue, Razor JB, Mountain Views watching us with us this morning. I posted this video all over the place, so hopefully we get a lot of people joining in and chiming in about this. Tommy Gun, Patriot in the dark, tacos and French fries. Always awesome to have that option in the morning. Let's see here. William Trader's out there too. Says, morning all, looking forward to this morning's conversation during my drive. That's right, man. That's right. Nice Strikes out here. And 2 Live Moo was the first person to join us this morning. And then also don't forget.
I was second.
Ooh, Nice Strike was second. First Strike was second place. So, and then don't forget our sponsor, SS Pond in Lexington, Nebraska. Take the exit off into Lexington, Nebraska, just off Interstate 80, about halfway down the state there. Right there in the middle. SS Pond's just off on the right-hand side. You can't miss it. Big old sign that says Pawn Shop. Looks kind of like this one right here. Stop in there, say hello, talk to Stan, buy yourself a firearm, and SS Pond will take care of your firearms needs.
I love Stan and SS Pond. Platonically, of course, but I love him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then also we got rnldisplays.com. Now, I'm not sponsored by these guys, but they did send me a tester, and they did send me a couple promos to send out for our monthly Patreon drawings. So rnldisplays.com, they've got a sale right now. Nice Strike, is that correct?
I don't know if they have a
Is it
sale
still going on? What, 25% off? Is that, or there was a discount code?
No,
is that right?
that was the haul. I believe that was a weekend sale.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Check out rnldisplays.com, American-owned, veteran-owned. You get different finishes and different styles. They've got the AR displays and then also the Glock stick mag compatible displays that you can use with your pistol caliber carbines, right?
I don't know if it's official yet, but I hear he may be doing a Halloween sale.
Ooh, there we go.
It's not official. It's not official yet. You'll have to get with him to see.
Yep.
But he has broached the topic of a Halloween sale.
Heck yeah, dude. Right on, man. That's cool. So do check it out, rnldisplays.com, the more refined way to display your AR-15.
No, just the refined way.
The refined way. Yeah, more refined doesn't make sense. The refined way to display your AR-15. Like a fine piece of furniture. Your AR should always be on display for those to enjoy, right?
I've got to do a tabletop review.
Visually. I've already done it. I've already covered it.
Well, I got to do one for my channel because I need more.
Well, go do one. You go do you. So
yeah,
so we got a question here.
Open.
We already got a question coming from the YouTube side here. Kevin June says, and maybe you guys can answer this one: is 22 Magnum considered a straight wall cartridge?
Yes.
22 mag. Yeah, but it's not considered center fire. So hunting, we're talking larger game. We're just kind of referring to deer as kind of the standard caliber, that we're going to be discussing. Is
I was telling Travis
deer grade ammo. Yeah,
I was telling Travis back in the back room before we started, but technically, 22 LR is also straight wall, but it's center. It's rim fire instead of center fire. We're talking about center fire straight walls today, not rim fires or any other type.
So just so everybody, real quick, I just want to. Okay, hold on one second, Tony. The calibers that we're talking about, just so people know what we mean by straight wall, and there's a million of them, but we're talking 357 Magnum, 350 Legend, 45 Colt, 444 Marlin, 4570 Government, 450 Bushmaster, and 50 Beowulf. So those will be kind of the focus cartridges for today. Okay, go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
What? No 44 Magnum? I'm freaking out of here.
See, it wasn't on the list. Is it considered straight wall, 44 mag?
Well, yeah, it's straight wall.
Is. And it wasn't on the list for some reason. I was like, isn't it? I thought it was. So, yeah. I've shot it a million times. I guess I've just never paid attention to the case. And 44 mag. So, yeah. Well, it was odd because they said that 444 Marlin was kind of a build off of 44 Magnum. So that's why I thought, well, isn't 44 Magnum in that also? I was pretty sure it was.
Yeah, I think
so.
44 mag is straight.
Yeah. So
44 mag
obviously
sure
that's
as
gonna be
hell
the
ain't a
exposure.
bottleneck.
Yeah, no, I know
Yeah,
that.
44,
Yeah,
444, 4570, yeah, all straight wall.
So,
Yeah.
what experiences do you guys have with straight wall cartridges in a rifle platform? What are some of the pros and cons that you see with it? Really, I can't speak to it right now because I don't have a rifle in that caliber, but we're simply here to discuss cartridges this morning. Single shot or Tony, do you guys have any experience with those in a rifle platform, lever gun or bolt action?
I got it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
44
357,
Magnum.
44 mag. I had a 44 mag, Marlin 1894, and 4570 government. I've had a lot of experience with as well. I like them all. You know, they're real good cartridges.
Yeah.
I have the same Marlin 94, and I have a 95 and 4570, which is a great one just to pass around and let other people shoot.
My dog's over here making noises right now. He's dreaming, so he's wolfing in his sleep. So if you hear that, apologize for that noise.
Looking at the looks on the faces the first time they pull the trigger in 4570 is precious.
That seems to be kind of that bucket list gun for a lot of gun people. You know, a lot of everybody wants to go get that for that elusive 4570. Was it the Jurassic Park appeal of it, or just the tremendous takedown of it? You know, we'll talk about 4570 here also here in just a little bit as we go through ballistics and stuff like that. You know, and again, the nice thing is if you look at something like your 44 Magnum or your 357 Magnum, we've talked about this before. It's nice to have a caliber that's going to be compatible with your sidearm as well as your rifle, just for interchangeability, or maybe if you have a weapons failure out in the field, you've got another weapon that uses the same caliber. So always consider carrying maybe the same caliber, say a nice revolver to have on you, and the same caliber as your firearm that you're carrying, your long gun that you have on you also. And now in some places you can't have a sidearm with you if you are out hunting. I know Nebraska is trying to work on that right now, so you can. If you have a carry permit or concealed carry permit, you can carry your concealed carry weapon. I don't know if this has been passed yet or not, but have it out in the field with you, along with your long rifle, your firearm during hunting season, and not get in trouble essentially for doing that because of capacity reasons and stuff. But Nebraska is a bass backward state in many ways when it comes to hunting laws and regulations, so we just have to kind of accept it for what it is, but we can fix it. All right, so let's see here. Let's go and check out the survey real quick before we get into talking about the ballistics and what is a straight wall cartridge. So the question was, which straight wall rifle cartridge interests you the most? 357 Magnum, 45% of the pollsters said that. 4570, 38%. 450 Bushmaster was only 3%, and 350 Legend is 14%. I was expecting more for 350 Legend, with that being one of the newest calibers that's out there. But some of these other calibers are still relatively new, like 450 Bushmaster. Some of these have been out, you know, essentially for 20 years or less. And so, you know, that's one thing too, is there's just not maybe a lot of experience with those calibers and so on. Well, I was going to try to get another poll going, but it's not going to let me start it up for some reason. So that's essentially, so the 357 Magnum, you know, you've got the energy that you need to drop your game. You've got the velocity. You've got a pretty decent range. Now, we could hopefully agree on this, that when you're talking in general, when it comes to these straight wall cartridges, you know, we're looking at, you know, ranges of probably 200 yards or less, 250 to have the energy you're going to need to take down a deer, a pretty good size, or a good size, you know, a large or medium game animal. So, you know, 357 Magnum, I can see why that would have a lot of appeal for people. Not to mention the fact that, you know, you're talking about lightweight ammo to carry with you. There's a lot you can carry out in the field if you need to. And you've got a lot of different options for different platforms. And a lot of these have been adapted to the AR platform. If you don't mind spending some money, you can get AR-15s that are chambered. I think there might even be a 4570 AR out there, if I'm not mistaken. There's, I mean, some of these boutique AR companies, there's 350 Legend that's out there that you can get. And that was one of the things about 350 Legend, was the fact that it has the compatibility with the AR platform. Possibly magazines, if I'm not mistaken. You may be able to use your standard AR mags with 350 Legend, but I know that there are 350 Legend AR platforms out there for people that are fans of the AR. SS Pond says, I just recently purchased a 122-year-old Winchester rifle, model 1894 and 3855. And he says, that is a straight wall caliber. Going to shoot a deer this year with it. Don't know too much about the caliber. Do you guys know anything about 3855?
My great-grandfather had one that I wish I inherited. That had the saddle ring on the side of the receiver. That thing was a full-length magazine, 3855 octagonal barrel. That thing was beautiful.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm assuming 3855. We're talking. You're gonna have to have custom hand loads for something like that. There's no. Is there any ammo production in 3855 right now? Is anybody making?
Still,
Yes.
yeah,
You can-
it's still
you can buy.
available.
Okay.
The
So there's options.
370,
Okay.
the 375 Winchester is the upgrade to the 3855, and it's the same cartridge. You can buy a 3855 and a 375 Winchester, but you can't go around the other way. Sorry.
Seeing what else we have up here for comments. Yeah, so Caliber, we said 45 Raptor. Is 45 Raptor straight walled or not?
I don't know anything about that one.
We talked about 45 Raptor before. We've covered some of these unusual newer calibers that are out there. He might have stepped off to go get a coffee refill, so we'll catch him maybe when he comes back. But let's see who else is out there. Gunmetal Guy USA just joined in. SS Pond's out there too. G23's now. Sam of Anarchy 92's joining in too. All right, so I've got a couple articles here, and I just want to share some information with you with what is a straight wall cartridge and what are some of the options. And then also we're going to look at 4 different cartridges, and I'll just talk about a lot of the kind of the specifics, in terms of power and energy, velocity, effectiveness of the cartridges and so on. So we'll go ahead and do that. So real quick, let me go ahead and just share the screen with you, and we'll get through this little.
45 Raptors are straight.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right, let's go over to deer hunting ammo. Here we go. All right, so this article is from fieldandstream.com. They've got some very cool information here on 4 different calibers, but real quick, straight wall cartridges, in case some of the differences between these and the bottleneck cartridges that we're referring to also, they have almost no narrowing from the base to the neck. When standing on its end, a straight walled cartridge will basically have a straight line on the case from the top to the bottom. The case is almost a perfect cylinder from base to neck. So for example, 308 has a base diameter of 0.4709 inches. The neck diameter is 0.3433. 444 Marlin, which is straight wall, has a base diameter of 0.47 inches with a neck diameter of 0.453. So the idea behind it, and I don't necessarily agree with this, but the idea behind it is that there's less room for propellant behind the bullet compared to the bullet diameter. Straight walled cartridges tend to be slower and have less range. And it's this reduced range that, at least in theory, makes them safer for hunting purposes in densely populated areas. And so that's one of the reasons why you have a lot of states that require, the straight wall cartridges because of the population density. And these were people that, previously had to shoot with slugs or buckshot. They weren't allowed to use, center fire bottleneck cartridges for hunting. So we've kind of seen this rise in the straight wall cartridges, especially as states have added straight wall cartridges to an acceptable hunting cartridge. Then more sales are starting to go up, and we're starting to see people get into a lot more of these calibers or going back and revisiting these calibers before. Okay. So the first one that I wanted to start off with here was 350 Legend. Just want to talk about it. It's one of the newest ones. What I like about 350 Legend is the fact that when all the other ammo was sold out in all these other stores that I went to, 350 Legend, it seems like it was always in stock, either at Walmart or the local sporting goods stores. I really can't comment on the price of it. We'd have to look it up now and see what it goes for. But it's out there and it's available. And we'll talk about maybe some of the advantages of 350 Legend. One of them is going to be what they call it, according to this article, the easiest straight wall deer hunting ammo to shoot, mainly because of the lack of recoil. When we tell you how little it actually has, you're going to be kind of surprised at just how light of a shooter it really is. So it says, designed and developed by Winchester, 350 Legend is the first new intro to the market aimed specifically at straight walled hunting regulations. This was revealed at the 2019 SHOT Show, and it offers Deer Season XP, Power Max Bonded, and many others. Winchester has also chambered their XPR line of bolt action rifles for the cartridge, and other major gun manufacturers are producing rifles for it as well. Hey, and you guys that are on the panel, I'm viewing this as a full screen right now, so if anybody needs anything or has a question, you're going to have to interrupt me and let me know, okay, because I don't know. The plus side of this cartridge is that recoil is pretty mild, so it's a good choice for shooters who need to take recoil into consideration. The 150 grain Deer Season XP generates 8.52 foot-pounds of recoil in a 7-pound rifle. By comparison, a 250 grain 450 Bushmaster factory load generates 22.99 foot-pounds of recoil, and a full power 12 gauge slug generates 45 foot-pounds of recoil. So if you want something that's going to have light recoil, say you've got a young person or somebody who's recoil sensitive, but they want to hunt, 350 Legend is one of those options for you, with roughly, one fifth of the recoil that you're going to feel if you shoot a 12 gauge slug. Ballistics are kind of interesting on 350 Legend. Right now, Winchester, Hornady, and Federal have cartridges offered in this chambering. So it says with 150 yard zero, the Winchester 160 grain max factory load is 1.92 inches high at 100 yards and 5 inches low at 200 yards. So it's going to perform well. It retains 1,000 foot-pounds of energy just past 140 yards. And it says with shorter barrels on the AR-15 and some other rifles, muzzle velocity is going to be lower, which changes all the other numbers. And so you've got options for bolt actions and AR pattern rifles for 350 Legend. Heck, there might even be some break action single shots that are out there that you can pick up in 350 Legend also. Let's go ahead and move on. So 350 Legend, an option for you. The other one, let's see, the straight wall deer hunting cartridge with the most potential, 444 Marlin. And I've never shot this before, but this one's definitely catching my interest. I do love a good lever gun. And it says, introduced in 1964, the 444 Marlin was kind of a stretched out 44 mag. This cartridge was held back for years by the lack of good factory loaded ammo. Remington had a 265 grain load for a while, but dropped it, leaving only the 240 grain factory load. Then Hornady brought out 2 loads for the cartridge, and things changed. The Hornady bullets are heavier and have a higher ballistic coefficient. And this article is great. I'll post a link to it in the description box for this particular podcast for today, and you can check it out. And they show you the range in yards and the inches and the drop. So the one thing I've noticed about these straight wall cartridges, you're only looking at about 5 inches of drop out to 200 yards, which is pretty dang good. I mean, that definitely rivals, if not exceeds, even a lot of your top end slug ammunition that's out there too. So you're going to get similar. Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
You have to take into account that they're talking zeros at 150 and not 100. If
Did they say
you
150
zero at
or was
100, it's the other one you mentioned said 150.
150? Okay.
That would give it about 15-inch drop at 200.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see what they say on the 350 Legend.
Yes.
So, yeah. No, this says it shoots 1.92 inches high at 100 yards, 5 inches low at 200, and 14 inches low at 250 for 350 Legend. Retains 1,000 foot-pounds of energy to just past 140 yards. So,
and Travis, we've got a request out here just so we can tack on to the end of the show, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That's coming from G23. He was asking about the 416 Hoffman and the 700 Nitro Express.
Oh, we're gonna have to look those up. So yeah, we'll definitely check them out. I'll bring them up on the tabs and we can check those out. We can look at them after we get through the 444 Marlin here. So Tony, that drop was only 5 inches at 200 yards. So this was
zero.
Yeah, the zero. Oh, no, that's weird. With the 150 yard zero, the Winchester 160 is 1.92 high at 100 and 5 low at 200. So how does that affect it again, Tony? It's going to be lower at 200?
That makes it 7 at 200 if it's 100 yard zero.
Okay. I didn't realize that at the very beginning as I'm reading through it. You're right about that. But still, a 7-inch drop at 200 yards, especially if you're going to be taking shots in dense woodland or you're looking at 0 to 75 or 0 to 100 yards, you're going to be pretty much spot on at 100. I would think you're going to be okay, And then 7 inches of drop at 200, you can compensate for that pretty easily if you know your MOA markings on your optic, or if you're using iron sights, it might be a little bit different, but.
Yeah, really, I would never take a 150 or 200 yard shot with a handgun straight wall, like 357 or 44 Magnum, but the rifle ones should be fine.
Yeah, I would think so. Tony, you thinking 100, at least out to 150 yards for all of these for the most part? You think we'd be okay? They got pretty good. I mean, looking at the trajectory, and a lot of these are still firing fairly flat at 150 yards.
Something like the 357 Magnum, I don't know that I would trust the energy at that range. Yeah, it's hard telling. We'll have to look at 357 Magnum's ballistics because I'm not sure what happens once you get past 100. And again, it could depend on the load. It could depend on the bullet that you're using. It can vary quite a bit depending on what you're running. Because there's so much difference between your powder charge, between your bullet type. Whether you're running a hollow point or a soft point or some sort of a ballistic tip. So. Okay, so checking out the 444 Marlin, muzzle velocity of 2,400 feet per second. With the 150 yard zero, again, the Hornady 265 grain flex tip ammo is 1.55 inches high at 100 and 4 inches low at 200 yards. And it says it retains 1,000 foot-pounds of energy to 360 yards. So
I would almost go for the 444 Marlin if I was going to go straight walled in any kind of a long gun. If I'm going to use it for hunting, and that has an incredible amount of energy, and it says out to 360 yards. And I was looking at the charts here. They compared 450 Bushmaster to 444 Marlin and 350 Legend. And 350 Legend was one of the lowest amounts of energy once you get out past 100 yards, 200 yards. And the 444 Marlin, FT, I don't know if that's like a flex tip is what that stands for. You can see the amount of energy and the drop that it has and the range that it has. So what else do we have to say about the 444 med? It says there's a few single shot rifles out there as well, but it says this cartridge needs a modern repeating rifle. The guy says, I'm currently building a bolt action 444 Marlin. I'm expecting good things from this fall. And perhaps as the trend grows, we will see some bolt action 444 rifles from mainstream gun makers. So the other thing too that they mentioned is you want to try a few brands of ammo and a few different bullet types, or maybe if you hand load your own, try some different bullets and loads to see what's going to make it most accurate for you, because you might have a round that you get that just doesn't produce the type of accuracy you're looking for. It might be +1 MOA at 100 yards when you want to do better than that. The next one that we have is 450 Bushmaster, 250 grain. This one says the best straight wall deer hunting ammo for AR-15 style rifles. So if you're going to run an AR semi-auto, say with a 5-round mag, or you might have like a 10-round mag, but it can only take 5 rounds of 450 Bushmaster, which you have to kind of watch your regulations, which may say that you're not using a magazine that's an overcapacity for the cartridge you're shooting. 450 Bushmaster could be, the type of application that you're going to need. The idea was created by it was suggested by Jeff Cooper. It was called the Thumper concept. And what it was to have a semi-auto rifle larger than 44 caliber, capable of taking big game out to 250 yards. And then it says that Tim, I think it's Legendre, I can't pronounce his last name, of Lemag Firearms developed the 45 Pro cartridge based on that criteria and licensed it to Bushmaster Firearms for production and distribution. So checking out the 450 Bushmaster. Originally, they called it the 45 Professional, but then Hornady wanted to use their .452-inch bullet, so they had asked for the licensing rights or the rights to rename it, essentially. And they approved the name change, and they made some adjustments in the case length to give us the modern, 450 Bushmaster that we have today. I keep thinking 450 SOCOM. It doesn't exist. All right, so checking that out, 450 Bushmaster has a velocity of 2,200 feet per second from a 20-inch barrel, 250 grain bullets, and let's see if they talk about ballistics on this one. With 150 yard zero, the Hornady ammo is 1.54 inches high at 100 yards, 4.68 inches low at 200 yards, and 8.49 inches low at 250 yards. So that definitely offers a lot more reach out and touch someone performance that you might be looking for, especially if you're taking longer shots on your deer. Retains 1,000 foot-pounds of energy to just past 280 yards. Okay, then it's going to get into 450 government, so we'll come back to this here in just a second. Do you guys have any experience with the 444 Marlin or 450 Bushmaster, any of those calibers at all? You guys on the panel?
Yes, sir.
Which
I've
one?
got them both.
Single shot. What do you got? Both?
I've got the 444 and the 15-inch barrel for the Encore, and I just finished building the 450 Bushmaster here just a little while ago.
Both of those, do they perform well out of like a sub 16-inch barrel? Or would you benefit from an 18 or 20? Does it matter at that point?
Well,
what are we talking for powders here? Are any of these using any kind of pistol powder? Because I'm almost thinking like 300 blackout, where you've got this fast-burning pistol powder that performs out of a shorter barrel. No?
I use full house rifle loads out of them.
Okay.
And that 444 is a handful, let me tell you. That thing is not for the weak of heart.
So it's got a pretty good kick to it, is what you're saying?
Oh, yeah. Now I've got 4570 and 16 with a brake on it for the Contender. That's a handful.
Yeah. I've been told that 4570's got a little bit of kick to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. Crazy stuff.
4570 has kind of a different recoil impulse.
What is it? Is it more of like just like a stout shove, or is it a what would you say it compares to? Is it like a 12 gauge slug, or is it heavier than 12 gauge slug? What are we talking here? Because that buck's pretty good.
It's longer. It feels like the length of time it's under recoil is longer.
Yeah. I can tell you a funny story about 4570.
Do it, man.
So last summer, my buddy, his wife got him a 45-70 for their anniversary, and he shot a lot more guns a lot longer than I have. But we were out there zeroing. He put a scout scope on it, and he'd never used a lead sled, and his shoulder was getting a little bit sore zeroing it. So I let him try the lead sled. I didn't catch it. He didn't strap the front of it down. He took one shot, and he's used to that recoil, absorbing the recoil with his shoulder, where the lead sled doesn't do it. The front end of that gun shot straight up in the air after the first shot. I was like, "Whoa, no! You need to strap that down." And
You got to lean into it, bro. You got to lean into it.
Well, he was just he has always done it just using bags and using his shoulder to absorb it, so it was just a learning curve for him. But I was like, because it's like, yeah, don't shoot that way again. That was kind of funny, but it was like, nah, it's not a good thing.
No, probably not. Probably not going to do much for accuracy, right?
No, that
Yeah.
that has a recoil that more or less just pushes you back hard. And 700 Nitro is double that, let me tell you.
Yeah, I was going to look up the 700 Nitro Express. I've got some information on it, which makes it sound seems kind of interesting. I don't know. And the other one was, what was the other one we're going to talk about? What was it? 416 Hoffman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, most of these centerfire rifles have a very sharp, hard recoil. The bigger bore, heavier caliber bullets have more of an issue about pushing you back. But it's just like somebody putting their hand against your shoulder and shoving it back hard. Whereas with the centerfire, it does that and creates a very sharp recoil to your shoulder. That 350 Legend now, that is the equivalent. AR equivalent to 3030, or very close to.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it. I've been told that it's a fairly light caliber to shoot. It's it's very controllable and stuff. And it's, I mean, like I said, obviously with the the availability of the ammo and so on, it'll be something to consider too. So, all right, I've got some information for us here on the. We'll come back to 4570 here in just a little bit. 700 Nitro Express. So if you are recoil sensitive, this is a fantastic caliber for you. No, I'm just kidding, of course. Let's go ahead and check out the 700 Nitro Express in case you've never heard of it before. There's so many cartridges out there. And you got to see this thing when it's in a person's hand. This thing looks like an expo marker, man. I mean, it's crazy. So 700 Nitro Express is a big game rifle cartridge made by Holland in London, England. It was developed in 1988 by Jim Bell and William Feldstein, and built by H&H. Feldstein had tried unsuccessfully to get H&H to build a 600 Nitro Express for him, but they'd already ceased production. However, when Bill and Feldstein produced the entirely new 700 Nitro Express cartridge, they were able to attract the interest of H&H, which was looking for a new big bore cartridge. After production began, the backlog of orders was so great that it continued to 2007, and H&H restarted the production of 600 Nitro Express guns. There you go. So what it says here, in many respects, this cartridge parallels the 600 Nitro Express. It's essentially a scaled up version of that cartridge, but somewhat more powerful and fires a heavier 1,000 grain bullet. The case itself is a completely new case, not simply another case resized. Double rifles are extremely expensive. I don't know what they mean by double rifles. Double barrels, maybe? Starting at $10,000 and selling upwards of $260,000.
The double rifle, Travis?
Yeah,
that's
in 2015.
The old school African hunting rifle where you'd have two barrels, next to each other, almost like the old Coach shotguns.
Yeah, side by side, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, essentially. That way you could get, it was a break action, 2-shot, for the quick follow-up shot on a dangerous game.
Okay. So it's a pretty inexpensive way to get into it if you want to. And it says they've been generally replaced by repeating rifles rounds such as the 458 Winchester. Single factory loaded 700 Nitro charges are available, and they're typically $100 each per round. Yeah. So ballistics, what do we got? 700 Nitro Express. Approximate average of 8,900 foot-pounds of force with the muzzle energy, with a 1,000 grain bullet at 2,000 feet per second. However, hand loaders like single shot can push the cartridge to generate as much as 15,000 foot-pounds of energy in a modern bolt action by using a 1,000 grain bullet fired at 2,600 feet per second. However, doing so necessitates a rifle so heavy it's almost inoperable for hunting purposes. Now, what else do we have here?
Yeah,
go ahead.
I would almost pay money to watch guys shoot that second quick
You would
follow
need
up
a shoulder
with
rebuild after
700
something like that, dude.
nitro.
Good God, man. You would almost need to have your shoulder rebuild. I couldn't even imagine. That would just knock you on your butt, man.
Oh man,
Oh.
around here we hip fire that stuff
We
one
hip
handed.
fire, yeah, here in Nebraska, we hip fire. They throw it out. Yeah, right.
That's where
Wow.
there's that's definitely one of those cartridges that you better make sure that first shot hits the boiler room, because you're not going to want to pull the trigger a second time.
So here's some more fun facts. The typical average muzzle velocity of a factory-loaded cartridge is 2,000 feet per second. And the 18-pound rifle used by accurate reloading, this would result in recoil energy of approximately 160 foot-pounds. This is more than 10 times the average recoil from a .308 Winchester, which is a very common hunting caliber, and more than 4 times the recoil of a strong 4570 government round. So 700 Nitro Express, that is just going to be your premium rhino/elephant gun. Or if you have to do any kind of vehicle stopping, you'd maybe want to turret mount one of these things. And
that's what
dude,
that
that's
was
awesome.
designed
That's
for.
freaking awesome.
That
Well, let's
cartridge
just say-
is designed for Africa.
Yeah,
And they don't go
if
for
you,
boiler. They go for a
if
frame
you-
shot on an elephant.
if you shoot something with that and it doesn't drop immediately, you might be better off just running away.
All
Yeah,
right.
you figured that's going to really cause you huge pain in the shoulder and wallet.
Mm-hmm. You bet.
Oh, you would think so. You would think so. I'm looking at the 416 Hoffman here. I don't know. Can you guys see this one, or are you guys looking at what I'm looking at? Just a bunch of text here on the screen. Are you guys seeing that?
I can't read it, but
You can't see it. Okay, let me stop sharing and I'll reshare it real quick so you can see this, because I've got a quick little summary of what the 416 Hoffman is. It's always cool to look at these unusual calibers that we didn't know. Well, maybe some of us didn't know were actually out there. I know I'm learning something new every day. All right, let's go and check this out. So 416 Caliber Cartridges. All right. So 416 Hoffman is the Wildcat creation of George Hoffman. It is based on a full-length, blown-out, and necked-up 375 H&H Magnum case. Hoffman, a Texan, became an avid elephant hunter with an African PH. He found the 416 Rigby ideal for his purposes, but by the late 1970s, Rigby rifles and ammunition had become extremely rare. Consequently, he developed a Wildcat cartridge with identical ballistics that could be used in any 375 H&H rifle rebarreled for the 416 cartridge. So he goes into the specifics a little bit about the reloading numbers and stuff. The shoulder, okay, there's the shoulder angle. A square produced factory load using 400 grain bullets at 2,380 feet per second and 5,031 foot-pounds of energy from a 24-inch barrel. But it says, however, since being acquired by the Broadsword Group, they have discontinued the 416 Hoffman.
You know, there's something very fishy here. Because he's talking about the rarity of the Rigby, he builds a one-off. You don't get no rarer than that.
Is it because he built a single rifle for ammo he could make himself or produce himself? That'd be a little more practical, maybe. Maybe that's what it is? Yeah, it's a good point though. It's like, why would you complain about all this stuff, especially if it's like a money thing? Maybe it wasn't a money thing. Maybe it was just an availability thing.
If you're loading your own ammo, you can load whatever cases you got.
This is true. Exactly.
You know,
some of these cartridges would be pretty cool. Yeah.
Just a little fun fact here too. When you get up into those calibers like that, they're not called rifles anymore. They're called double drillings. And they actually have a triple drilling. Mercal makes a bunch of them. But I'll tell you what, you better have a hell of a lot of money in your wallet if you're thinking about buying one.
Well, if you can afford to go on a safari, then obviously you've got the money for safari.
Yeah.
Safari gun. Yeah, safari. Oh, man. What do we got here? Jason Stewart says 700 Nitro snub-nose revolver backup gun and ankle holsters. What I carry for family reunions? Dude, I don't even know if you could make a frame that could handle, if it even be humanly possible to have a revolver. It would be like the size of like a bowling ball, basically,
Well, that's for you guys. How many of you guys have seen the one of the movies? Has pulled a complete blank on the name. Big Red. Comic book character, the big red guy. Demon Spawn, whatever. Hellboy.
okay. Yeah.
that would essentially what the 700 Nitro Express revolver would look like.
Yeah, you would use some otherworldly castings for that frame to handle the recoil, man. I'm telling you what. But yeah, there you go. That's gonna work. Let's see here. Jason Stewart says the women run big in my family. 9mm won't scare them at all. Okay. Sounds like an interesting family reunion. All right. The next one that I wanted to talk about, again, it's that one that a lot of us, talk about. It's one of those bucket list calibers, right? I don't have any experience with it, but if you guys do, feel free to chime in. 4570 government. Okay. The best straight wall deer hunting ammo for long shots, 4570 government, and we'll find out exactly why. Born in 1873, the 4570 government, among our first successful self-contained metallic rifle cartridges, the 4570 was developed for the Army to be used in the trapdoor Springfield rifle. It served until the 3040 Krag replaced it in 1892. The cartridge has a cavernous case capacity designed to work with black powder of the era, and it used large diameter bullets to compensate for the low velocity produced by that propellant. That's the exact opposite of what's in vogue with modern rifle cartridges today. So it says, for a while, nobody was making rifles in 4570, and the cartridge seemed doomed. There's a lot of old Springfield rifles around, but it's a weak design, and it can't stand a lot of pressure. Most gun makers and gun buyers were not interested in new rifles chambered for this underperforming cartridge. Then the Marlin 1895 lever-action rifle came along in 1972 and changed everything. 4570 was a very popular hunting cartridge, even before the straight wall phenomenon started, but it's held back by all of those old guns out there. Factory ammo must be safe to use in them, so the 4570 rarely reaches its full potential. However, in a strong rifle like the Ruger No. 1, the 4570 can be loaded to impressive performance. So what exactly are we talking about? Very similar performance to a 12-gauge Hornady slug, the 4570 Hornady flex tip that they have here listed. Range in yards, very similar. It's just the slug actually drops off sooner than the 4570 round does, out to 250 yards. And you can see the drop. It looks like, I don't know if this is a 150-yard zero or 100-yard zero, but basically it flies flat at 150 yards, both the slug and the 4570. Hornady's 325 grain flex tip ammo has a muzzle velocity of 2,050 feet per second with a ballistic coefficient of 0.230. With the 150-yard zero, the Hornady load is 2.26 inches high at 100, 5.73 inches low at 200, and 15.71 inches low at 250. Retains 1,000 foot-pounds of energy to just past 235 yards, but load that bullet up to 3,500 feet per second, stick it in a rifle that can handle that pressure, and things change. With the 150-yard zero, the bullet is 1.66 inches high at 100, 4.37 inches low at 200, and 11.9 inches low at 250. It retains up to 1,000 foot-pounds of energy out to 399 yards. So I can see why they are recommending the 4570 as the way to go. So single shot, you said you have a 4570, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got.
So who else does anybody else have a 4570 on the panel?
I do.
Tony? Okay, so answer this
Yeah.
for me. Is there any advantage of the 4570 versus like a premium 12-gauge slug, like a Hornady SST round, like a Sabo slug with a rifled barrel, shooting through like a shotgun? What would be the advantage of going with the 4570, like switching over? Why would I want to buy one if I can shoot, the 12-gauge Sabo slugs out of my shotgun? Would there be any advantage to it, or what do you guys think? Just maybe the platform's a little more flexible using a lever gun versus, tromping through the woods with a shotgun with a 20-inch barrel, or what do you guys think?
Yeah, there could be advantages over it. I mean, I've got a rifle barrel that's 23 inches for the young top of the Contender, plus the Super 16 for the same frame. And
also,
I wouldn't hesitate taking. I wouldn't hesitate to take anything out to 200 yards with it.
Okay.
Go ahead and finish things up.
Thank you.
No, I'm all set. Go ahead.
All right, Calaveras, go ahead, man.
That's what I was just gonna say. With the ammo, that's for to get good performance out of it. You either need to hand load, or you have to find a stuff that's loaded for modern in order to achieve what they're showing there for that 12-gauge slug. Because so much of it is loaded. From what I understand, I don't own one, but I've done enough reading. They load them down, for your average bulk box stuff, lack of a better way of putting it. So that way, if you put it, someone doesn't pay attention and throws it into a Springfield, doesn't blow up in their face. So
Okay.
either you need to specifically find the stuff that's loaded hot. I want to say there's like the Hornady stuff that we were talking about. I think Underwood also produces some. Or you have to hand load to get the full potential out of that cartridge. But just be careful. As always, be very aware of what kind of firearm you're loading your ammo into to make sure that the ammo you're using is safe in said firearm.
Well, I'll tell you, just from shooting my buddies when we take it out, it's first off, I don't think there'd be a weight advantage because, like his is an octagonal barrel. It's much heavier than a shotgun would be. And two, there's like Caliber, there's a big difference. We started off when he was zeroing it, just shooting the factory loads, and then he brought out his hand loads, and he tends to load stuff pretty hot. But there is a big difference.
Oh yeah, it's amazing what a few grains of powder charge can do to the perceived recoil when you're making a round. I've experienced that firsthand when I was making rounds with my 308. Just the difference between 38 and 42 grains of powder, it was like night and day. I mean, and the performance was completely varied also, which was amazing. You're talking about those octagonal barrels. My 3030 Henry, I bought it with the octagonal barrel on the color case hardened finish. I think the octagonal barrel weighs 1.5 pounds more than the non-octagonal barrel than just the standard barrel does. I think it's almost like 8.5 pounds or something. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I love it. It's awesome. When you throw a big scope on there and stuff, you're pushing like 10 pounds of rifle with you. So I've got a nice comfy sling on mine. But definitely adds a little bit. But it also might help with recoil, maybe some muzzle climb too. It might assist with that a little bit also. So that's definitely an option. Now, I will say this, for those of you that say, well, that's great, but I'll just keep using my slugs. I've got a Mossberg 835, which has two different barrels that came with it from the factory. It's got your standard shot barrel that has choke tubes on the end that you can take out and swap if you want. It came with like 4 or 5 choke tubes. And then I've also got the rifled slug barrel that came with it. So I have to shoot these Sabo slugs through it. And I've always shot the Hornady SST slugs, which I'm not going to say there's really much of a financial advantage to going slug versus 4570 because those SST rounds, like a 5-round box was like, God, $10 or $15. I think I'm paying almost $2 to $3 per round. So you're not really going to save much. Of course, you're not really going to use it more than say to zero it and then hunt with it. But that SST round performs really, really good. I want to say, I need to look the ballistics up specifically, but it flies flat out to like 150 yards and then it starts to drop off after that. But it's an incredible round. And so I do love that particular slug round. That's all I've ever hunted with. And that one, that particular shotgun's fantastic shotgun. It's a shotgun from like the early 90s, mid 90s, and I still have it. It is drilled and tapped on the top so that you can add a rail to it. And I've got a Weaver rail on it with, I can put a scope on it if I want to, and it just has the standard bead sight up on the front. The shotgun, the slug barrel on this one though does not, I don't think it adds, maybe it adds a real simple iron sight to the rear. I haven't taken the barrel out in a long time. I've got it over here in the safe. I could pull it out and look at it. But it's kind of cool. So, you do have options if you don't want to go straight wall and you want to stick with your slug. We've had slug discussions before. There's been some major increases in shotgun slug performance and what kind of options are out there too. So, you do have quite a few options if you want to go that route also. And again, some of you in some of your states, you might only be able to shoot slug or straight wall only. But it is pretty cool having a lot of different options. So I don't know.
The one thing on 4570 over 12 gauge.
Tony, go ahead, and then single shot will come back to you, okay? Go ahead, Tony.
The one thing 4570 over 12 gauge I would say is I would be willing and not afraid to take a 350 yard shot with the 4570 where I wouldn't do that with 12 gauge.
Yeah, I'm going to look those rounds up real quick while you guys are chatting on that. Single shot, what do you want to say?
4570's got a big brother. It's called a 450 Marlin.
Okay.
So you got a straight wall cartridge, but it's a belted cartridge. And normally, 4570s are around 2,000, 2,200 feet a second, depending on the load. And 450's kicking up about 24, 2,500 with a 300 grain bullet. So that's quite a bit of difference. I've got one of the barrels for the Encore in 450. That's a handful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for And if you're looking for a Big Brother version of the 4570, they also make the 45-120 as well. That's a little harder to find. Originally was developed for the Sharps rifle. That's for those who aren't familiar with 45-120. Think Quigley Down Under. Essentially, that's the cartridge that he was using.
Okay.
They do all of them in between. They do 90, 100, 110, and 120.
Okay.
Yeah, 120 is the big boy. 70 is the small one.
And again, if you're going to buy one of these rifles, you almost want to reconsider. You might want to just consider just getting into reloading, hand loading, and kind of tailoring the best load for that particular firearm, just because of availability of ammo, cost. I mean, it'll pay for itself really quick if you get in reloading, especially if you've already got the presses and all you need to get are the dies. Of course, now I don't know with primers. Are primers hard to find for what are we talking for primers for 4570? Large rifle primers, or do you need some large Magnum rifle primers? Is that right? So
no.
Okay.
Just standard.
No, if memory serves, I think
a lot of versatility with that thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What's
memory serves? I think the Winchester 1886 came out in 4560.
okay?
Yeah, that last digit on those calibers that we just mentioned, that's like 45 120. It's a 45 caliber bullet over 120 grains of black powder, and that's how that's designated 4570, 45 caliber over 70 grains of black powder, etc. And you have 50 series, 5070, 5090. That's the same designator.
Yeah. Not to deviate from the conversation, but New York Outcast is out there making a lot of noise right now. He says, everybody should vote in my poll about Travis at my community section after the show. So go over to the New York Outcast. Is that poll still posted? Oh, it's on the community section, isn't it? Yeah. So it says, don't let the mob make Travis a zombie snack. So apparently I was put in a poll over on New York Outcast's channel. He did a community post where it was what was it? Travis P11's running down the street. What'd you say? Half dressed with one shoe on? Would you There's 4 different options. What would you do?
Yeah,
and one of the options. What was it? Go ahead.
Oh.
I did see
it. Was what if you saw Travis P11 running half dressed down the street with one shoe on his way home from work, being chased by a mob of his fans. So
I better not be half dressed if I'm coming home from work. Let's just say that
right now.
I just
said if you're running down my street heading home from work, you're a long way around.
I'm taking a long way to get to your house because you're over there and I'm over here. Why would I do? Okay, that's a bit of a jaunt to get to your place. And then there's 4 options. What would you like to let happen to me? And then one of the options, number 4, is what is it? I've been living under a rock or something. Who's Travis P11? And I'm not going to say the results of the poll. You got to go click on it. And the funny part is there's a chance you've seen one of my videos, but you have no idea it was me, because why would I review Ziploc bags, right? I mean, seriously, who does that? Who reviews tuna? I don't know. I
was like, why the hell would he be leading him to my house? I got a kid over here. What kind of friend are you?
Exactly. Right, man. I don't want to go to anybody else's house. I want to go home. It's the closest shop for me from work. So
okay. The poll was, what would you do if Travis P11 was running down your street half dressed, wearing only one shoe, while getting mobbed by his fan club on his way home from work?
Go shut the door and pull the blinds. The thought of me half dressed is morbid anyway. Why would you want to do
running
that?
by, he makes eye contact with you.
What's that?
A, run inside quick and hope he didn't know it was you. B, smile as you bust out the Airsoft 50 and frag grenades to help him. C, turn the guard nose on the mob and call the cops.
Guard nose.
D,
D,
laugh as he goes down like a zombie snack.
Wait, that was an option? I thought D was who's Travis P11.
Yeah. That was E.
That was E.
Oh, there's an E? You can have 5 options on these things?
Who's Travis P11? Question mark. I live under a rock.
So if you don't know who I am, do check my channel. I have very little content. I mean, I'm slowly building a channel, and there's not much out there, but I've got a couple videos.
The joke is people chose that one because that one was the funniest one.
Yes, or they just generally have no idea who I am, and that's totally cool.
No.
I'm happy being a bottom feeder YouTuber. Okay.
Most of those votes are by everybody who watches you and watches all our chats, and they did that one because that one was the funniest. Because in that situation, who's Travis P11? I don't know who he is.
Don't bring them my way. I don't have any ammo or anything.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
so
completely out. Don't
Yeah, with how hard ammo is to come by, I'm sorry, you'd become a zombie snack.
I can take care of myself, man. I don't complain about not being able to find ammo. I've made videos telling you where you can find ammo for good prices, but I don't sit there and make these "where's all the ammo" videos.
Yeah, I have absolutely
Because
no
it's over at the
stockpiles.
store. I can go buy it at the store a mile
Travis-
from my house, and they've got it all in stock. Yeah.
The other poll was who's got the biggest chicken on YouTube.
I thought it was
Okay.
the best chicken.
You know, no, it
Biggest
says
chicken or best chicken? I thought it was
who's
best
got the
chicken.
best
Best.
chicken on YouTube.
Best chicken on YouTube, and Gizzard
Midnight
Gary's
Range
the leader,
GM,
right? Yeah.
Guns
yeah.
and Barbecue, Gizzard Gary, Roll Call 219, or Mr. Knives.
So where was this chicken actually sampled? Where can I try that? How am I supposed to know? Have they all posted chicken videos, like recipe videos?
I don't know.
I was trying to figure that one out. I'm like, well, I've never had Gizzard Gary's chicken before, but I'd like to try. Gizzard Gary sounds like a restaurant chain, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They need to make a Pro 2A fried chicken chain and call it Gizzard Gary's and just put it all across the Great Plains. People would go there. Make it concealed carry friendly or open carry friendly, right? Not concealed carry friendly. And have Pro 2A stuff all over the place. Like, and if you buy like a family dinner, you get a free Every Second Matters patch. I'm telling you, that could be the way to have the waitresses and the servers have sidearms on them while they're in the restaurant. You know,
Yeah.
it's possible. It's possible. I think it'd be a good idea.
But those were the two
Pro
polls that were
2A
funny.
fried chicken shack called Gizzard Gary's. I mean, I would go. He's already got the logo. You know,
Yeah,
rooster
he
with
does
an
logo.
AR or whatever. That's perfect. You know. Yeah.
Well, I think
Yeah.
I think it's a rooster with a foul, but regardless.
It just doesn't matter. Foul or AR. You can have it. You can kind of vary it up a little bit. You know, in the marketing. So.
Yeah.
Yep. There we go. There's another one out there. I did post another survey because this was a request from the viewers. This is just kind of a lighthearted survey this morning. Who's got the best donuts, Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme? Yeah, the Krispy Kreme's right off the assembly line where they give them to you for free when you walk in there. Those are unreal, man. And Dunkin's I don't know. I mean, I love Dunkin' Donuts coffee, but it seems like the donuts are just not the same as they were when I was a kid.
Dunkin's are all pre-made and frozen.
Yeah, they just bring them in and let them thaw, basically. Krispies are made in-house because you can watch them making them right there.
I hate to say it, I'm going to say Krispy Kreme.
And those aren't even my favorites. We've got a couple local places here. Lamar's Donuts, which is amazing. And then back in Lexington, where I moved from, D-Light Donuts is the bomb. You got to get in there before like 10 a.m. because almost everything's sold out at D-Light in Lexington.
Yeah.
But their donuts are amazing. SS Pond, it's right next to SS Pond. So go get a gun and go get some donuts before they run out, and then go buy some guns over at SS Pond.
And got to go to Kearney and go to Daylight Donuts.
In the Charleston area, there is no more mom and pop.
I like a bigger donut.
Donut places. So
I'm real picky about donuts because we owned a bakery when I was a kid.
You got to. Well, you never had D-Light in Lexington, have you? Dude, I'm gonna bring you a box.
I've had D-Light other places.
They're better in Lex than they are in Kearney.
Cake donuts I'm okay with, but I'm really, really, really picky about glazed donuts.
Glazed,
There's an art to a good glazed donut.
Dude. They are.
Krispy Kreme is not it.
Oh man,
I'm
telling you, this is it. I need to bring some back with me the next time I go. G23 says Voodoo Donuts are the best. Yeah, I think they might have one of those in Omaha, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen Voodoo Donuts before on television. They look really, really good. Yeah. Donut Chat 2021. Hey, real quick, the last thing I want to share with you here is what I was talking about. So we've had slug discussions before, but just as a good benchmark slug round to compare against all these straight-walled cartridges that we've talked about this morning. And I have personal experience actually deer hunting with this cartridge. It is an amazing round. You pay for it. The 12-gauge SST slug 300 grain FTX from Hornady. And I know the Hornady is making people upset right now with the whole vaccine mandate stuff. And that's a discussion for a different time because that discussion is not going to put venison on the table, but this will. So what's nice about it is that you can get 12-gauge or 20-gauge, sub 2-inch grooves at 100 yards, and it features the flattest trajectory on the market. And it says SST slugs are designed for use in fully rifled barrels only. So this isn't something you want to shoot down your smoothbore shotgun. You want to make sure you've got one that can handle it. So just look at this. Look at these stats, guys. So at 100 yards, muzzle velocity, 2,000 feet per second, energy, 2,664 foot-pounds. And then let's go 100 yards. 100 yards velocity, 16.41. Energy, 1793. Trajectory, 2.7 inches plus. Flies flat at 150 yards. And then you got a 6.7 inch drop at 200 yards. Now, I don't know what they shot this out of, but my Mossberg A35 has like a 20-inch rifled slug barrel. So the performance on this round is just fantastic. And you can check it out right now. Medium game, 50 to 300 pounds, 5 in a box. But unfortunately, it's about $15. I was paying around $15 at Cabela's when I would buy it back in the day for 5 rounds or 12 or 15. So it's not cheap, but it is an amazing performer. In my opinion, it's the best slug round that's out there. And you got the ballistic tip on it too. So it's pretty deadly once you hit your game with it also. Anyway, so that was just something I wanted to show you, just kind of as a benchmark comparison. It's like what is out there for slug rounds that you can't get that will perform. So, Defense Dad, you said it's easier to hunt deer with a 1978 Caprice. Changed my mind. Yeah, it's easier to hunt deer with about anything when you just run into it, right? Oh man.
Yeah, you don't need any special license or tag or anything.
Yeah, and then once you hit it, you can just take it home because, well, it's on the side of the road. You have to. You just got to let the highway patrol know that you're taking it.
Yeah, there's no reloading on the 78 Caprice. You can take out 2 or 3 deer before it won't.
Oh, easy. And the bumpers are interchangeable and they're readily available.
Oh, yeah.
That's for Ask Gizzard Gary how, a 4-wheeled machine takes out deer. He's, he's tacked up at least 3 of them.
Jeez. I'd have some sort of like a brush guard in front, like a hardcore brush guard in front of my truck or SUV if I lived in that kind of an area. I never had one on my Jeep, and I really should have, because there's so much that I had an 01 Cherokee Sport that had a lot of fiberglass in the front, some of that stuff's plastic, and et cetera. There's not a lot of there to protect you in front of your radiator and your engine, but there's a lot of options for brush guards and so on that would definitely help. Here it seems like in Nebraska, man, like they run into the side of your car. That's the worst thing about it.
I'm not kidding. Back when I sold cars,
yeah,
I had a customer, like he would always come in and buy these cheap $1,200 like 93 Buick LeSabres, because he lived down around Beatrice, and he was always hitting deer. He was a hunter. He's like, I hardly ever have to get a tag anymore because I hit so many of them a year. And
you're getting into the rural area outside of Lincoln. When you go over by Beatrice, you go west. That's 25 miles away to Beatrice or 30. But that area, dense woodland, you've got some rivers and some streams and stuff, and it's just the deer go there, because the city's expanding southward and also west now, which is pushing the deer that way, right over by all the interstates and highways. So yeah, 77, Highway 77 is just vicious for deer.
There was one year I sold him 3 just junker old Buicks like that, because they had the 3.8 Buick in it, and he just kept hitting deer. He's like, yeah, I got a lot of meat in my freezer.
I can't blame the guy. I mean, I don't blame him. I would definitely do that. So, Gunmetal Guy USA says, what's everybody state's policy? What you can and cannot do with the car hit deer on the highway? For Nebraska, do you just simply report it to the sheriff and then you can take it? Is that what it is for Nebraska? It's very much.
Apparently, I mean, I
suppose. You don't. I think you might even be able to call your local police department. Or you report it to either highway patrol or the sheriff's office that you hit a deer.
Yeah, probably saves them an animal control call. They don't have to come.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure in Nebraska you can. Of course, you got to process it when you get home.
Right.
Because I mean, it'd be best if you could. I mean, this is crazy, but gut it on the side of the road. But who's prepared for that? Unless you've got a pickup truck you can throw it in. Yeah. New York Outcast says, 1 ran out and hit my Honda before I bought it. I know bad things always happen to your vehicles, either right before you buy them or right after you get them.
Yeah, the only time I've ever actually hit a deer was before I was even married. I was driving it with my girlfriend at the time. The one and only time I borrowed her car, a mule deer jumped out in front of us. And he jumped almost over it, but he clipped the top of the windshield.
Oh, my gosh. Jeez.
Oh, heck, I've hit 11.
I've never personally hit one. I've woven between them on the highway. I've had them roll up on me, but I've never actually hit one before, so I don't have any experience. I've got family that have. I've gotten lucky with all the Interstate 80 driving that I do, because as you go out west, they get worse. As you get closer to the
grandparents hit a black Angus cow at 11 o'clock at night coming home from
Texas. My dad did that. My dad bought our 2001 Kia Spectra. We sold it to him like in 2010, and he was driving to work, and there were stock. He worked at a packing plant for over 40 years. And there's feedlots on the way to the plant, and he tagged the back of somebody's bull, and it didn't kill it. The Spectra's not a big car, and the funny part about it is we sold my dad the car for $2,000, and I don't know how or why it took out the hood, the bumper, both headlights, and the radiator, and they didn't total the car. I couldn't believe it. They actually he tagged the back of a bull, and then after it was all said and done, tried to figure out there's 4 lots that are 4 different operators. Didn't know whose bull it was, so we don't know if it got back in. But yeah, he smacked it going, because when he would go to work in the mornings, he would go to work like at 3 o'clock in the morning when it was dark. And yeah, he was a black bull on the highway, and he smacked it with a Kia Spectra. Airbags didn't go off. I don't know how. It did all that damage to the car, and the insurance actually repaired it. It was never totaled out. Repaired it, new hood, new headlights, new bumper, and he ended up reselling it later on, and it still ran just fine. I mean, that was
This
Spectre's
was
a tiny car. It's like Ford Focus sized. I mean, it's small.
Yeah, they were on their way back from visiting my aunt and uncle in Texas, and this was in 1987. It was a brand new '87 Buick LeSabre.
Okay, and those were fairly small. They were smaller cars. They're not the big bulbous ones that they had in the '90s. My grandma had an '86,
but it was still a brand new car.
Yeah,
and they hit it, and it totaled the car, or almost totaled it, but they had a salvage title. But the funny part is the rancher had the audacity to try to sue them for the value of the car, and it was kind of to find out that his cow was on the middle of the highway.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I know.
Well, years ago when I was young, I was living in Maine again. There was one of the worst truck wrecks that I seen when I was at that age. Fella had a brand new Peterbilt, beautiful truck, two-tone gold and brown, and coming down into the town called Presque Isle, Maine. You come down a hill, and coming into town, when he was coming down that hill, he saw a bull standing broadside.
Oh, God.
What the poor guy didn't know was there was an equally sized or near equally sized cow right behind him standing broadside.
Oh, my God.
There was 3 fatalities in that wreck. Killed all 3 of them. I saw that truck after that happened. You talk about a mess. There wasn't anything left of it except for the sleeper. I mean,
what's the weight of a full-size bull or cow? What are we talking here?
Well, that right then, it was
pounds?
Talking about
700?
2,000 pounds of dead weight. They're just standing there.
Yeah, so you're hitting it at 65 miles an hour. Yeah. Off center, hitting it off center at 65.
45. And
that's how they need to. That's how they need to barrier test cars. Don't hit the barrier, hit the cow, and see what they. That's how they should be crash testing vehicles. For survivability these days. Good Lord.
Yeah, I hit a Holstein bull that got out of the pasture there when I was living on a farm up there. I had a little gremlin. The bull come out in the road, turned, and he was headed back for the field, and I hit the brakes, slid sideways, and I had his backside right in my face.
Oh, God. Oh, man. New York Outcast says that Buicks are accident magnets. Yes, they are. Just New York Outcast says, just ask my lady. He says they love my Chevy rear bumper for some reason. 3 tried to eat it. We got zombie cattle out there. Tommy Gunn says East Coast Canada, we have to worry about hitting moose. Yeah. That's I'm sure that's not fun. Those are even worse because of their higher center of gravity. They're going to go right into your freaking windshield. So that's probably even worse because they're so much taller than a cow, I would assume.
Oh,
yeah. Just kind of what I've seen, but anyway.
My brother
guys, I'll tell you what. Yeah.
My brother had a friend of his that was working for the same company that he drove for. And once you get north of Bangor, the speed steadily increases. It goes from 65 to 70, then to 70 to 75. The further north you go. Well, those guys run at night, and this poor guy was running a minivan, and he did not see this bull standing broadside in the road, and he come up underneath that thing, and that bull's full weight come right through the windshield of that minivan. Killed both of them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, the moose are nothing to fool around with. Holstein bulls, Angus bulls, you're talking a lot of weight right there.
Yeah, it can be a little dangerous out there. So, speaking of dangerous, I think we need to talk about 44 Magnum real quick because we haven't given 44 Magnum justice just yet. I wanted to look at some ballistics on it real quick. Yeah, 44 Mag. So Tony, 44 Magnum as a hunting round. What do you think, man? What do you think?
Absolutely, beautiful brush gun, real nice.
Here we go. This looks interesting. Here's a neat little chart we can check out here. checking out where'd the chart go? They got one here that shows you. Here we go. You can see. Oh, this is beautiful. All right, so let me show this to you guys real quick. So 44 Magnum, another one to consider. You got your lever gun options. You've got tons of reloading options. You can run some incredibly hot rounds through your rifle if you want to do your own hand loading. And again, you've also got the potential to be able to run the same ammunition through your sidearm while you're out, whether we're talking camping or any kind of trekking or hiking or just straight up hunting for that matter. Okay.
That's true. Just one thing you talked about, same ammo in the sidearm as the rifle. Just be careful on that. Again, that's what we were talking earlier about the power factor of ammo compared to the gun you're loading it in. Some of the, especially some of the really hot stuff that's designed for the lever action rifles might overpower some of your revolver designs. So just make sure that you're aware of your power factor and what your firearms can handle.
Yes. So here's the question: do we go 357 mag or do we go 44 mag if we're going to do some hunting with the straight wall cartridge? Because I'm looking at these ballistics right now, and
44.
The edge is given the 357 mag in terms of velocity and energy retained or velocity retained out to a distance. Well, 44 mags is that going to have more energy than 357 Magnum out to 100 yards?
Well, yeah.
Velocity? Okay. Because I'm kind of curious if it's going to drop off quicker or not. But yeah, so this is kind of interesting. We're showing all these different loads. And again, the edge is going to go to 357 mag just in terms of velocity, but in terms of energy, you're going to go 44 Magnum.
I like it in the brush. If I'm going to be using a lever gun, especially in an area where if I'm working in heavy brush, I'm going to use a 44 Magnum.
Now, the reason why is so you can clear through. Say you have to you happen to clip a stick or a branch or something while you're taking your shots. Is that the reason why you want that? We want those heavier calibers for the brush, or is it because you might be looking at something close range and you're going to have to take a quick shot? And I mean, what is it exactly?
How short, snaps the branch off, and keeps on going pretty much straight right on the line of travel. There's not much it's going to deflect a 44.
Yeah, that's for because that's for actually Iraq veteran 8888 did an entire video on the brush gun series, and it showed the heavy, large diameter, slow velocity rounds tend to deflect less, although they still deflect. But there's also the matter of when you hit something at, say, close range, call it 50 yards, some of these heavy brushed areas, if you punch a hole in them that's the size of a quarter versus, some of these big heavy caliber rounds, the exit holes big enough to put your fist into, they tend not to run as far with that bigger hole in them, and they're a little easier to find.
Right.
My reasoning for the 44 is I want the handgun that I'm accompanying it with to be almost as effective as the rifle.
Good way to do it.
So long as the handgun can handle the load that you put through it, right?
So
you're not running like a plus B plus through your rifle that would blow your handgun up.
No, God, no.
No. Not unless you do what my next door neighbor did one day.
What's that?
Oh, he decided to mix a little bit of firewater with gunpowder. Guess what? It don't work.
Mix some what? What did he mix with?
I was next door.
Booze.
I was next door, and I heard him shooting. And I knew what he was shooting. He was shooting his Ruger Super Blackhawk 44 mag. So I'm outside, and matter of fact, I was getting a couple of things together to go over there and shoot with him. And I heard something that was really strange. It didn't sound like the prior rounds going off. And I heard him holler, and I thought, oh, that don't sound good. So I read what was going off, and going on rather. I see him standing there. His face was covered with blood. He was all bloody on his hands and stuff.
Oh, God.
The gun was laying on the ground.
Jesus.
Top strap and half the cylinder was gone.
Ooh.
He didn't mix it. He mistook the powder that he was putting into those cartridges. He put rifle powder in those cartridges, and it blew that Ruger up.
Oh my God.
So, like I've mentioned before, be aware of what you're doing when you're reloading. He was lucky
You know,
because he didn't have to stay in the hospital. He went in, they patched him up, sewed up a couple places. But that's when he stopped drinking and reloading.
rumor has it that I blew my Ruger Super Blackhawk Hunter.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did.
The
That's a
legend
pretty
of
hard
and you still got it repaired. You still got it repaired for under warranty from Ruger, right?
Yeah, Ruger fixed it for nothing. It didn't blow
Yeah.
to bits like this guy's. Mine just cracked the cylinder, but
Yeah, yeah.
This
Still.
thing blew.
the Ruger tech said, "Oh, it should have took that."
I don't know, man. You must have been running a pretty hot charge in that one. So,
It was 30% over.
Woo!
oh, okay, that might be a little stout. Yeah.
That's a little much.
Oh, so there was a comment out there from Tommy again. He said, "Is Wanter looking for a Ruger 44 mag semi-auto?"
No, Desert Eagle.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yes. Yeah, that would be one of your options, but with capacity and stuff, I'm not sure about your hunting applications. But
Well, and that's for I don't know if they're even producing anymore, but that's for about the old 44 Auto Mag.
They're making
Yep.
them.
That's a rare bird.
You can buy a new one for about $5,000.
Yep.
$5,000, good grief!
Well, a friend of mine down in Texas, he bought the 475 Wildie. That's another straight wall pistol cartridge. Very powerful. Well, I didn't know it, but they make an accessory changeover kit that you can buy for that Wildie frame to change it to 44 Auto Mag. And before he died, he actually had a chance to put a few rounds through it. Boy, I'll tell you, there was a couple times I almost asked him, "Hey, keep me in your will you?"
keeping your will. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I'd love to have had that Wildie, that thing. And he had everything for it. He had extra mags, he had dies, he had brass, he had loaded ammo, holster. That thing was something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Wildy, that's like the Death Wish gun.
Yes, sir, exactly.
Good gravy.
There you go. Another
Really,
bucket list pistol to add to my ever growing list of weapons that I want to pick up, firearms I want to pick up. So
I really want an auto mag, but they're going to have to get down to about 2,500 before.
Yeah, I think he paid $3,500 for this. Those things are built in Connecticut, one at a time by the guy that starts it finishes it. So it's a one person build with that firearm, and it takes quite a while to get them in.
sounds like some of those the boutique 1911 producers and stuff, you know.
Yep. Ed Brown,
Well,
those guys.
that's for a gun with that kind of power factor. Take your time, make sure it's right, because otherwise you are holding a grenade in your hand. I don't want a grenade in my hand.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Just for you, Tony. Just for you. Now is the time to own the experience and feel the power of the 44 Auto Mag, with financing plans available for those who qualify.
Well,
I'm
that would
kidding,
be
of course.
fine, except for I'm married.
Woo, look at that! Look at that. Well, we call this the divorce gun, I think. Is that right? Because once you get it, you're probably gonna lose your spouse.
Clint
Oh,
Eastwood,
dang.
Dirty Harry.
Let's see what we got here. What do we got for? Why are we even looking these up? Why are we even looking at this? This is such a bad idea. This is pistols. What do we got? Automag pistols. There you go, Tony. There you go. $34.95, okay, or $37.95. You want the 8.5-inch barrel, or $39.95 if you want the Founders Edition. There you go, Tony. Go for broke, bud. 8.5-inch barrel, right?
Yep.
So these are all new production.
My old lady just deposited right at $27,000 in my bank account. I ain't pissing that up.
Dude, but this is an investment, Tony. This is something that's gonna.
She already has heard that freaking lie.
You don't lose money on guns. You never, not unless they're a Sky CPX2. You never lose money on guns when you buy them and sell them. Look at that. Look at that, Tony. That could be you,
right.
Tony. You could be that man right there. Look at that. See, the wedding ring is still on. You got your Apple Watch. You got the 44 mag in your hand. He's smiling. Combines in the background. He's got the cool mustache. Look at that. That could be you, Tony. Don't you want to be that man?
No.
Come on, Tony. Let's add it to the cart. Let's do it. Come on, Tony.
Go ahead. You're single.
No,
I'm
no.
not.
I'd
little note
love
about-
to, but unfortunately, I got too many other guns I need to pick up first. So, but still,
One little note about that 44 Auto Mag. They are finicky. You've got to keep them clean.
I know with the Desert Eagle in 357 Magnum, I don't know if it's the same on the 44 Mag, but they had a list of preferred ammunition for it that they say to encourage reliability, please
Right.
run only these brands of ammo and these grain weights. And it was a variety of brands.
Yep.
It wasn't like it was all Winchester or Federal or something. There was like 5 or 6 different brands. It's if you run these, we can almost guarantee reliability. Mine, I think I had 1 or 2 jams out of like 100 rounds that I shot out of that thing when I took Stan's 357 Magnum Desert Eagle out to the range. So it was fun to shoot. It was just awesome to shoot.
Yeah.
I really love the phrasing there of encouraging reliability.
Yeah, it's like we, you will have better reliability if you use the following ammunition. The only other time I've ever seen that before, like specific brand labeled ammunition, like in a little slip that came in the box, was the Keltec. Was it the PMR? Help me out here. The 22 Magnum Keltec pistol. Is it the
PMR
30?
Yeah.
PMR 30. Yeah, because that one
Yeah.
said, we don't recommend. It even said we recommend you not run these brands in this ammo. We recommend you run these brands in this ammo. They had a pro and con list, like don't run this, but run this if you want the gun to run reliably. And I did manage to get the ammo that they were. The one I was going to get was the Armscore 22 mag, which surprised me because I fired it out of a revolver before and it was fine. But semi-auto, they recommend you only shoot. And luckily, I got lucky. Went over to Walmart at that point because this was like 4 or 5 years ago when I made the video, and they had that 22 mag. It was CCI. They had it in stock, so I got a couple boxes of that and was doing some 100-yard shots with it, and it was actually performing pretty well. So, yeah, it was good. It was good.
If somebody does decide to get one of those bigger calibers we was talking about just a minute ago, 45 Winchester Magnum, the 45,
I want a gun that says we
44
recommend.
Auto Mag and the 475 Wildy. They all recommend blue dot powder only. That's a heavy slug. That thing is.
Oh yeah.
What is it? 375 grains, something like that.
Oh
Wild.
crap.
Defense I'll tell you.
I was just gonna say I want a gun that says like we recommend you run Winchester white box because that's going to be reliable.
Tula, we highly recommend that you run steel case Russian import ammo. You're going to spend high dollars on it now, but that's the only thing that'll run reliably through this firearm. There you go. We recommend Wolf Polyformance only.
Oh man.
All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. We've been going for about an hour and a half. We've covered the calibers that I wanted us to cover today. We had our discussion. We talked about the different options that are out there, what's best for long range or what's best for light recoil, which one's the best all-around straight wall cartridge. And there's a lot of options out there, and you obviously need to choose what's going to work best for you. And if you do reload, we're always kind of biased towards reloaders, which is a good thing. You should be reloading. There's a lot of options out there for you, and a lot of ammo availability is the big one. If you've got the primers and the powder, you can load the rounds and enjoy your firearm, and it's going to save you some money. Maybe not initially, but it will with every shell that you're able to reload. So anyway, so I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. We're going to let the panel go ahead and give us their final plugs, and then we'll give a little shout out to all those people watching on the YouTube side. And again, don't forget about rnldisplays.com, the refined way to display your AR-15. You need to get one of these. You can also mount the magazine and the bracket on the wall, so you can wall mount the AR-15 if you want to do that too. If you don't want to have it on a library display like you see right here, you have that as an option. So anyway, let's go ahead and let Nice Strike, we'll let you start it up. Give us your final plug. Anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah, check rnldisplays.com. That's it.
Is that it? Okay, make sure you get over to Nice Strike's channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Check out Hit or Miss Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock Central Time. It's a fantastic program. You guys definitely need to check it out. So, all right, cool. Okay, Caliber's 32 special. Anything you want to say before we go?
Well, first I want to say thanks for letting me on the chat. It's been fun.
Yeah.
That's for I don't have any experience with straight wall cartridges, but they're on my list of things to get. As for my channel, that's where I appreciate anyone that does stop by. That's where I know I haven't had new content come out in a while. I've been a little busy, but I'm going to try to get some new stuff out here pretty soon. As well as want to say, everyone get out there and enjoy themselves this weekend. Be safe. Hopefully get some firearm in, depending on your weather. And see you guys next week.
Cool, man. Cool. Sounds good. All right. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Single shot. Anything you want to say before we go?
Well, if I can get over this 2-week disaster that I've had, I'm going to try to get some more videos out there. But I'm going to try to figure that thing out about the email address or the link.
Oh,
I've not really done
private
that much
for the
with
videos
links.
Unlisted.
And put that on there. So I know those 3 that I released when I was at the house, those would be gone in a half a heartbeat if I posted them public, because it was all reloading. And there was a fella that asked me here a while back for a whole process reloading video, and I desperately tried to get that Alaska 556, I think his handle was, and I will get that done. Then the man asked me to do it, and I will get it done. So just keep watching the channel. Things are finally calming down from the situation with Dad. That was a crap storm, and it's still a crap storm. So
it's gonna be for a while.
Everybody, what's that?
It's going to be for a while, man. It will get better.
Yeah. So I'm just taking day by day, as it comes, deal with it. That's the best way I know how to take care of that stuff. But just keep an eye on the channel. I do need some likes and watches, guys. I appreciate what you guys have done for my channel. I'm up to 210 now, and it wouldn't have happened without you guys. So swing by, check it out, like, share, subscribe. And I'm going to try to get this thing situated with this tablet so I can do some videos. And there may be some videos there that, doesn't pertain to firearms, so I can post them on public.
Sure.
Take care. God bless. Thanks for the invite, my friend. Always fun to be on, and I always enjoy it.
And as always, man, America moves by truck, doesn't it?
America moves by truck. That's right.
Absolutely.
I got to make one retraction. That 219 gallons I bought, that was $881.
That's what I thought. I was like, no, it wasn't $240. I'm like, that's not that expensive. We're $3 a gallon for diesel out here in Nebraska. Yeah, $4.25 a gallon basically is what you're paying. Something like that. $3.75, $4 a gallon. Holy crap, dude. Of course, that's not going to be reflected in the cost of products in the store. No, not at all.
No.
It has no effect on delivery prices. Have no effect on it whatsoever. Or just trying to ship stuff in general.
Everything's
good God. Yep.
Hang on.
All right, man. Well, thanks for being here, guys. By the way, it's single space shot exclamation point if you're looking for Single Shot's channel over on YouTube. Type that in there, and it should pop up, and you should be able to see it. And you can join on his channel and subscribe. Okay. All right, Defense Dad, anything you want to say before we go?
Oh, no, thanks for having me. Once I woke up, it was a fun conversation.
Hell yeah.
If you have absolutely no taste and pretty much will watch anything, check out my channel on YouTube, and that's about it.
Yeah, give yourself some credit. You make cool videos. You got great editing and production and lots of good information, and you got a likable personality. I mean, come on, man. You give yourself some credit. You got a good channel. You got a good thing going, man. You got a good thing going.
Yeah, I'm a pleasure to be around.
Way better production value than my videos, dude. Way better production value. So
appreciate that, man. Thanks.
All right, no problem. And last, but certainly not the least, he's the OG. He's the old gun of the panel that's on here, just because he's got the most experience doing this. Tony, thanks for joining us today, man. I appreciate it. Did you order that 44 auto yet at all, or not? No? Okay. I thought maybe I could get a chance to see it.
So many guns in 44 Magnum that I can't slide nothing past the old lady.
That's no excuse. She wouldn't know. Tell her you bought like some parts for your Suburban. I had to get a new Suburban chassis.
She's gonna know that ain't happening because it never makes it near the garage.
No, that's a good point. So, geez, I don't know.
Yeah. Obviously, the guy that says that about his show previously has not seen the early watch.
Early watch is fantastic. Again, not for kids, but a great show. If you want to be entertained and educated at the same time, early watch is definitely the way to go. So
We're
all
we're
I
in
gotta say.
discussions to make it no admittance under 30
Mhm.
because even mid-20s people have trouble.
Yes.
But at any rate, if you're curious, we're on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 a.m. Central until whenever.
Whenever.
And the
Usually a
9
couple hours.
a.m. is a sliding scale depending on when Jimmy gets up.
Right.
And
Good deal, man.
directly after this show, by about 20 minutes,
Mhm.
Sean Ponnery is going to be doing his weekend review, which I will be on that too. So
Hey,
people
Tony?
can come check that out. Yes.
Here's a little subtitle for you. We don't wear kid gloves.
We don't wear kid gloves.
Well, that might be all right. The we don't wear underwear didn't work out so
Oh,
well.
gee.
Okay.
Okay, TMI.
Who does? Underwear's overrated anyway. Who needs that? Wait a minute. What? What? Boxer briefs, preferably. But anyway. All right, man. So, Tony, thanks for being here. I do appreciate it. I want to thank the panel for being here today. A shout out to SS Pond for their sponsorship of the channel and keeping the podcast going. I do appreciate that, Stan. Thank you very much. And a little shout out to the YouTube side. We've got New York Outcast out there, G23. G, are you doing a show today? Let us know. We've also got Rick's Life as I see it later on this afternoon, if I'm not mistaken, coming up. So make sure you check out the Rick's Life podcast over on YouTube. Misfits Darling is out there. Ozzy Orsborn's out there. Tommy Gunn, JH586 in the house. Obviously, I was there. Tommy Gunn's with us. Caliber's out there and over here. Gunmetal Guy USA, always watching. Thank you very much for checking it out. Patriot in the Dark's with us today, too. Got to give a shout out to you, my friend. Two Live Moon, William Trader, watching today also. Yeah, he said PMR 30. Yeah. Let's see, Defense Dad's out there and over here. Is that about everybody? I don't know. Seems like we had a small group watching today, and that's totally cool. People watching in the replay. Tony York was out there and over here too, which is always a good thing. Mike's watching today also. Gizzard Gary, and I think that's about all I can see right now. So,
G23 said earlier in the chat he's having a show this afternoon, just so you know.
He is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, make sure you check out G23's channel, and that's always a good show. These podcasts go for hours. If you want something to listen to, you want to be entertained, or you just want something in the background, or you just want to, learn something new or whatever, listen to these podcasts. They're great. They're great to have if you're doing any kind of work around the house or working on any projects. That's pretty much what lured me in. So you guys got me through painting a house over the course of the spring. So, do appreciate that early watch and daily gun show. So anyway, this is Travis P11. Thanks for watching. This has been Caliber Corner podcast number 208, season 4, straight-walled rifle cartridges. Don't know what we're going to talk about next week. If you have any topics you'd like us to discuss, just go ahead and put it down in the chat below of this video and give me some suggestions. Otherwise, I can always go back and look at shows from the past to see what we haven't discussed in a while. But otherwise, I think that's about it. So I want you guys to have fun. I want you to be safe. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. Now get out there and enjoy your weekends. All right, take care.
Shall not be infringed. Let's go,
Never
Brandon.
be infringed. Never be infringed.
Let's go, Brandon.